Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Roxanne and Lisa's pre-conference, where Roxanne is the coach and Lisa is the coachee. So Lisa, tell me, what's your lesson going to be about? What's your objective?
My objective for my lesson is I'm going to focus on writing, and I would like to see if my tutee is going to be able to make an inference from a picture prompt and then respond, and then in order to lengthen his writing piece.
Okay. And what about your outcomes? What do you hope he can do?
I'm hoping from this that he's going to be able to first make an inference, and then he's going to be able to make hopefully 2 inferences from the picture prompt. And then I want him to plant a seed, basically, for the beginning of the story, and then hopefully that's going to create more details and make his writing piece in the end longer, because I feel that his writing lacks some detail. It becomes too shortened. What I've observed in the testing is it was very lengthy because it was fact-based. The 2 writing pieces after that were maybe 3 sentences, if that. So he does not like to add, my tutee does not like to add a lot of details to his writing. So my goal here is to use this, hopefully, strategy to see if that's going to help him add more details.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you really would like in the end for your tutee to improve his writing skills. And you're going to accomplish that by using a picture prompt for him to make an inference. And that inference, or 1 or 2 or maybe even more, so that those inferences become the seeds for him to start a story.
Right, and it's kind of experimental because I'm torn between, should I use a picture prompt or should I use a connected back to the text we've been reading. So that's where, in my mind, it's experimental to see how this works, because we are reading a short novel. So for the future, will I do something similar to this, or will I revert back to our story? So I'm going to see how this goes.
Okay. I'm sorry. So why is this a good lesson at this time?
Well, at this time, in a real classroom setting, a classroom teacher would probably focus on the writing process, because that would be the natural way to go and be more appropriate, given the lack of time, because we only have so much time with our students in a short span of time. His weakest area, I should say, is comprehension. So I want to focus my time on that, but I don't want to neglect his writing. So I'm trying to connect the 2. And I feel as though that I want to connect the inferring if I can, because I feel he's weak in this area as well. But again, as I had said previously, it's kind of like an experiment for me. I don't know if this is going to work. I may need to bridge it back to the text.
Okay.
It may not be the right way to go using a picture prompt.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you are using a picture prompt to spur his thinking to become more engaged in writing.
I'm hoping to plant a seed that's going to then grow to have more detailed writing.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So as you see the lesson unfolding, what will your tutee be doing?
It's my goal that I am first going to model for him. I'm going to use a picture of an ice cream cone that's going to be, it's turned upside down on the street, it's kind of melted. And I'm going to model to him, I'm going to think out loud, and I'm going to give him 2 examples of inferences. One's going to be that I infer that there were children watching a parade, someone dropped their ice cream cone and it melted on the street. My second inference is going to be that Mom and Dad may have bought the children an ice cream cone, and the ice cream cone man, or the ice cream man got busy and he dropped it. And then I'm going to say, from my 2 inferences, I would then choose one maybe to further, as like planted a seed of where I want my story to go. And I would then choose the one probably about the parade, because I would say, I know this because in the picture we see a picture of the street, and I would make that connection. And I probably can go a little further with that and maybe give more details either about the parade or, and I just feel as though, and I would explain this to my tutee, a lot more detail can come from that inference as opposed to the other one.
All right, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you're going to model making an inference or 2, actually you have 2 you said, from a picture prompt. So you're going to do modeling.
Right.
Okay.
And then from that, I'm going to ask him to create 2 inferences on his own.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask, going with my picture, because I want him to practice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to ask him to create a paragraph. I'm going to do the paragraph for that picture.
Okay.
I'm going to give him his own picture.
Oh, okay.
And his picture is going to be a picture of a little boy who, well, it's a leg and it's connected to a child, but skinned his knee. And I chose that picture because I feel like he has a big sports connection, big background. So I feel like he may infer things about what might have happened in a sporting event or things like that. And it may be something he's interested in.
So during this session, when you model from the picture prompt, you are going to compose a piece
Mhm.
right there for him.
Yes.
Is it going to be shared writing, or you're going to just make it out of your own ideas?
I'm going to model for him
Okay.
how I inferred, and then I chose one of my inferences, how it helped me plant my seed, help get my thoughts together,
Mhm.
and then I began my
And then
paragraph.
you're going to give him a different picture prompt.
Yes.
And he's going to make an inference or 2.
Mhm.
And then he's going to make his composition from that point on.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What will you be doing? Well, we actually just talked about that.
Mhm.
What will we be doing first, next, and last?
Mhm.
And obviously you're going to be closing the lesson, you told me, by him making inferences and writing his own story.
Right, and I'm going to look for in his writing piece. I'm going to look obviously to see if he, chose or he wrote an inference and chose an inference that has some connection back to the picture prompt.
Mhm.
And that's going to be an evaluation tool for me as well, because I'm going to be thinking, was this a good choice, or should I have related it back to the text? Because it's kind of an experiment for me as I'm learning to work with a child at this grade level. And then I'm also going to be, looking at his paragraph when he's finished to see if it in fact if it does have more detail.
Okay, so I think, so what you're telling me then, at the end you're going to examine his writing, and then you will know whether he has followed your directions and your modeling and learning how to make an inference, writing a story, and adding some detail to give it some length.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. What will you look for in the 2T's reaction to know if your directions were understood?
I'm going to look to make, like, in my past observations of him with writing, number one, he said he doesn't like writing. He's flat out said he doesn't like writing. And so I know that when I do that, he's never given me a hard time because he's a really good kid. But I do know I see a little change in his behavior where it's kind of a little resilient. So I'm going to be looking for a change in the behavior, hopefully, to see more of an interest.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, he's excited, hopefully, about the picture, and it activates his schema to bring something of his own to writing, more than just like, I'm not really sure, I don't know. And then I'm going to look at his writing, of course, to see if he clearly understood everything. I should see a writing piece, not 3 sentences.
Well, it looks like you should have that motivation because you said that he likes sports.
Mm-hmm.
And so the picture that you chose was a skinned knee,
Mm-hmm.
which often happens in sports.
Yes.
So hopefully you provided him with the motivation to become engaged in that writing.
Right, and I went this avenue because I'm trying to lengthen his make his writing longer. But again, I'm trying to decide for myself as a teacher, I know it should connect back to the text, but I don't want to turn him off to writing either. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a fine line between the two.
Okay. Well, thank you. It sounds like it's a really good plan that you have going. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to your 2T.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.